Let him have my paper, yo. Yo, my mama used to play this album like on cleanup Saturdays. I just want to say, the other day I was not feeling that good. I don't think it was none of that craziness, but I bounced back so quick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tread lightly on my wine. I'm gonna try, but it's good to be. Feeling A1.
Looking A1.
I'm feeling
All black, everything.
And you know what's crazy? It's cold here.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if it's been like that everywhere, but the weather's been like
tricky.
Yeah.
Mad tricky.
Yummy.
Yeah.
But we're good to, glad to be back. We did it not last Tuesday, but the Tuesday before that.
Yeah.
And it did really good. So we thank you. You know what I mean? You see? Don't mess my curls and stuff. But yeah, we thank you guys for coming back. I told Ken, I was like, we won't look at numbers and all that, because sometimes you can get caught up on the numbers and like who's watching.
See, that's that saying David did. You know what I mean? He started counting, trying to quantify his blessings.
Yeah.
God was saying, stay focused on me. Don't worry about the numbers. So he actually accounted that as sin. So.
Because what did we talk about? Like how I'm just getting, not last Tuesday, but the Tuesday before that, we talked about how I've been in church all my life, but I'm just getting to the point where I'm starting to understand the word. But so my question is like, did he, because he looked at the numbers and all of that, he started feeling a certain way, or it started bothering him? Because I think it happens in this day and time. Because you know, Instagram kind of took numbers away, right? You can't see.
Yeah, facts.
And so it kind of affects people where they be like, yo, I ain't got no blue check, or a lot of people ain't watching me, and it makes you feel like what you feel you've been called to do via social media, you feel like you're not accomplishing something because you don't get a certain number. So that he kind of looked at that.
Right. I think at the end of the day, many people, and that's the beauty about the scriptures, is it can flip many different ways depending on the interpretation and the speaker. But humility was a key component of David being a man after God's own heart. But when you start to look out and see, I got 1 million soldiers, I got a million people in my community, so on and so forth, you can lose sight that you don't have anything. Those are God's people. Those are God's soldiers, so on and so forth. And so he wasn't pleased with that. So we have to also be very careful in that same likeness to make sure we don't let numbers quantify our desire to be sincere. And as it relates to Instagram, do it for the creative. Don't do it for the numbers, because people can become raunchy or vulgar or disrespectful or righteous to try to get numbers, and those numbers are actually leading you away from where God wants you. Just do it for the sake of what you're trying to do, and let that be the measurement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's hard to do, living in this day and time. So I don't want to get off track. Maybe we can talk about, but I just don't start.
This is every day though. I don't want y'all to think this is a
Instagram
thing. This is from the time she
I
wake
come
up.
in the house, sis, like, Kendall.
I'm like, what's up? I smell you. I smell your perfume. That's that angel. Oh, that's Anita Baker.
That's what we was playing. So my mom used to play that every Saturday. Clean up. We knew it was time to wake up and clean up. Yeah.
So check it. One thing that we have to do is be accountable to what God has required us to do. Many people have platforms, and we say it all the time, that if we're fortunate enough to make it to heaven, He's not going to ask us how many albums you sold, how many speaking engagements did you do, how much money you make. He's going to ask one simple thing. I gave their ears to your voice. What did you say? And so we want to take an opportunity to dive deeper, because in this time of the coronavirus, social distancing, we've seen everything from 5G to a government scandal, so on and so forth. But that shouldn't dictate how you operate within your home. Mm-hmm. And one of the key components of having a healthy home and sustainability is forgiveness. And that's something we want to. That's very hard. Coronavirus or not. You know what I mean?
That's
you might have the ego virus. The pride virus.
Wait, what?
The ego virus.
Yeah.
I used to have the ego virus. I'm still trying to work on that. Yeah. Hold on, stop, slow down. Let God use you. All right. But so I just want to hit a couple key points to take just a brief second, and we want to dive into the topics, and I'm very curious. So another thing, real quick, I was sitting with my wife today, and I was like, so here's what I'm thinking about saying. She was like, we don't we prep for this, but we don't prep for this. I don't share with her the things I want to talk about. She doesn't share with me her insights. This is raw. This is organic. This is real time. Forgiveness is this is something that I wrote out today. Forgiveness is a byproduct of a humble heart that accepts responsibility for the feelings experienced by someone else. Where there's no humility or sincerity towards the feelings and conditions of others, forgiveness will always be absent. Forgiveness is the ointment that heals wounds that we cause, and it's the same ointment that we silently desire for those that are inflicted upon us. For peace and reconciliation to occur, we have to move beyond our personal perspectives, let go of fighting for personal truths, right and wrong, and do what is necessary to address how the other person states our actions have made them feel. Forgiveness isn't something that unconsciously or haphazardly occurs, and forgiveness has 3 specific characteristics: tone, tempo, and tenderness. Tone. The power to an apology begins with the tone in which it's delivered. It's no secret that a disruptive tone can forfeit the overall message. Example, you don't just pour alcohol on a wound, even though you know it's needed to prevent infection. You still must carefully and considerably apply healing agents with respect to the sensitivity of an open wound. Tempo. Forgiveness is no more bound by time than we can expedite the healing of a physical wound. When seeking forgiveness, we must be willing to give the offended time to voluntarily enter into a place of accepting the sincere ointment of an apology.
Amen. Come on now.
Keep in mind, just as most physical wounds remain covered, a critical part of the healing process. If not handled correctly, the scab can be compromised and once again expose a wound that was on track to be healed in its due season. So in the same manner, how we conduct ourselves following an apology is just as important as the apology itself. If we rush the process for our own selfish reasons, we will inevitably lose ground and cause even more damage than what was originally created.
You wrote that?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me.
Tone, tempo, and tenderness. Forgiveness. So let's jump into it.
Let's do it.
So we got several topics to touch on, and then we got some special guests that we want to bring in.
Yeah.
We want to talk about family as it relates to forgiveness.
Yeah.
Friendships as it relates to forgiveness. How to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
And then faith. And we're going to get some support with that. So family. Families are in place to mold and test our character for the outside world. But at times, we tend to treat the outside world better and with more concessions than we do our family. Why do we allow paychecks, reputations, the way we want the world to perceive us, to cause us to give our best fruit to the outside world and only leave seeds for our families to pick through?
Because you know I'm over here playing fellas.
Let's cook.
We gotta tap into several things because I feel like some people may be able to say a million, like, so I'm not like that. I give everything to my family.
That's ours.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I know some people, I talk to some people, I've been through my own situations, and it's almost like I give everything to my family. I put my family before me. I do all the gatherings. I bring all the food. I bring all the alcohol. I even create the playlist. Right? But somewhere in there, somebody's pissed, not pleased, and still need more. And somewhere, I wanna say that different. I want to say that both ways. Somewhere they feel the outside world gives them better than the family gives them. How do you approach that? Because I ain't saying it's me, but I am saying I have dealt with certain things where I feel like I give so much to my family, and I feel like I'm treated better from the outside world. But when you feel like your family is supposed to give you better than what the outside world gives you. Okay. You see what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this. First of all, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's a little disappointing. It's hurtful. Because I think I'm speaking for. Because if we want to talk about me, I feel like I've gotten better from the outside world, but then I also experience other things because of who I am.
Okay.
Right? But when it comes to my family, it hurts. It makes me feel, but I come from a talented family. I come from a gifted family. Everybody wants to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost like the Jackson 5. It's
what Nas say? He said one mic.
The Winans. It's all, I mean, when you come from a family, an entire family. I can take you to my father's house, family house, and everybody on my father's side can sing, can play instruments. They're all stupid talented. So I think that's where like a lot of the confusion comes from. Mm-hmm. But yeah, to answer your question, it hurts because I want to cut that.
And I'm not picking on you because we're gonna pick on me in a minute. So I will ask you in response to that. The scriptures tell us that Christ says, "How many times am I supposed to forgive an offender?" Mm-hmm. And he says 7 times 70. With the feelings that feels, with the emotions that carries, with the times you've opened doors to have slammed in your face or knocked on doors that wasn't open, how do we carry out those scriptures in the midst of what we actually feel in real time?
It's hard. I ain't even gonna lie. Come on.
Yeah.
We both felt like it's really, really hard. Because you be like, man, I'm going to do
what you talking about?
But I think that comes with growth. Yeah. I think that comes with fasting. And I think that comes with digging deep in time.
No doubt.
And once you get there, because you can get there if you want that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know some people that has had certain situations with their mother and their father. Let's say the mother was on drugs or something that happened with the father, and the father and the mother try to come in their 30s, and they have kids. And it's like they feel like I can't forgive them. So it's all about your relationship with Christ, because I think one thing that we always learn at Transformation, and we brought this up the Tuesday that the first time that we did it, is once you start focusing on Christ, then forgiveness, how to handle that situation. Because a lot of people may say, for me, and somebody may challenge this, somebody may test this, and that's cool because we got questions that we want to answer from that Tuesday when we did it, and we would love for more to come. Some people may say, are you telling me because I love Christ and I love God and I'm in my word and I'm praying that I have to deal with somebody constantly doing me like this? I don't think that's true. I think that what you do is you forgive and you love from a distance. I don't have to be rude to you. I don't have to go back and forth and talk junk to you. What I can do is when you say something positive to me, outside of 25 negative texts, that one positive, I'll reply. I will address that. Yeah. Thank you so much. How are you doing today? And I'll start to show you that it's a Christ-like walk.
But that's what I'm also calling people up. Like if they send you one text that's some nonsense, one text that's some BS, one text that's selfish, and one that actually makes sense and you respond to it, I don't look at that as ignoring the person. What it is I'm calling you up. Yeah. Not to my standard, but the standard that I'm also trying to live by, because hopefully if we reach that standard, we can coexist.
But at the same time, it's also a kudos to you, because you realizing that spiritually I'm grown. Because I would have been like, let me tell you something.
I get it too.
Right. Don't text me. You just text me last week. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's almost like, you know what? I'm beginning to see that everything that I'm reading, everything that I'm praying about, I'm regurgitating that stuff, and it's coming.
No doubt.
Right?
No doubt.
You know what I mean? See, I like my grandma when I did that. My grandma would do something.
So let's pick on me for a minute. Because a lot of people don't know that I never knew my father. I met my father one time when I was 13 years old. He was down in leukemia. I went out there to meet him. It was somewhat disappointing, because when you looking to meet your father for the first time, you're 13, you're a teenager, you're full of testosterone and hormones and adolescence and puberty. You're looking for a hero. And he was on his deathbed. And I felt like he was only reaching out to me to make closure for himself, putting that aside. I met him, and we never spoke again. The beauty about that situation was about 2 years ago, my wife, behind my back, but it was a beautiful situation, reached out and found my family. My brother, who's my older brother, I met